And good morning. I am adjusting to some technical stuff. I guess there was an outage, and as a result, everything is taking a little bit longer to charge back up again. So we'll just chill for a bit before we officially start, so you can go get your coffee. Grateful that I still have this platform wherever I am, that I can, if plan A computer doesn't work, we go to plan B and the smartphone. But we will officially start in a minute, and we will, let's see. It's not letting me go in here. Okay, there we go. Let's see. Okay, it's not letting me make changes. So let's just do this. I don't usually like editing, but today will definitely be an edit day. Oh, I got a heart. Thank you for hanging on here. We'll have to edit the live. Good morning. Happy Monday morning. We are almost ready. I'm just trying to get into the studio on the computer instead of on the phone. That has all the bells and whistles. But it doesn't look like it's wanting to cooperate. And I'm grateful that, all right, here we go. Let's go in here, and I will turn this off. And I will see you in the main studio in a California minute, if it's going to let me do it. We're going to talk about constructing self-worth today, as well as what to do and not do for Chinese New Year's. It is not going to let me into my own studio. I love my life. Okay, we're going to just continue on the phone. See, I'm going to stick my finger in your camera to operate. Let's see. Here we go.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, Don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. Our Heart Radio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. And this is a show about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip here, no scandal, no K words, no Kanye talk, no P. Diddy talk, nothing that's in the headlines, so that you don't end up listening and saying, what's wrong with people? Instead, I want to balance out all the bad news with some good news and good topics, good co hosts, good guests. And I've been doing that for the past 665 consecutive weeks. And I'll give myself a little applause for that. And that is, we're missing the scroller and my studio's blocked me out on the computer. There was an outage and I didn't realize that until I got into the studio and had to do, plan B, which is great. And we're going to start with breakfast. As usual, every weekday morning, I start with taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich with y'all. And that is top of the bun things we're grateful for, and bottom of the bun things that we're appreciative of. And the difference is gratitude is for things outside of yourself. That's my definition. And appreciation is gratitude for things inside of yourself. So we're going to do that. Please, if you're driving and listening on the AM FM side, do not put your gratitudes in the chat. But if you are near a computer and you want to go to my YouTube TV channel where you can watch and listen, not just listen, please do write your gratitudes in the comments, and then I can put you up on the screen. So let's start with, I'm grateful for my very smart phone that lets me broadcast from everywhere and anywhere, especially when the main studio technology doesn't work. And I'm grateful that y'all are giving me hearts and fingers, not that finger, but this finger, for the past 665 consecutive weeks now. They said a show about hope and happiness, or one that did not talk about the headlines and what everybody else is talking about, wouldn't last more than a year. 12 and a half years later, I'm still here. So I'm grateful for all the support that continues and all the nice things that I get to read and see from everyone. And shout out to United Natives who, gave me a nice compliment on social media the other day. And for, everyone, I can't start listing names because there are literally plethora, myriad, hundreds of thousands of people who have interacted with me as I do my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. I am grateful that it is Monday, when we talk about mental health matters, Mondays, focusing on how we can be happier 88% of the time. And I'm grateful that I get to get on leaving on a jet plane tomorrow morning, or actually tomorrow afternoon after the show, to spend Chinese New Year's Eve and day with my beautiful daughters who are both up in San Francisco. I appreciate, let's see, gratitude. One more gratitude. I am grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night, and that we have another day to live, love, laugh, learn, innovate, create, problem solve, love, and care, and say thank you to all those who make your life easier and to say thank you to all the firefighters and first responders who have been utmost help with the California fires. And as per tradition, not tradition, but habit, since the fires, we've been doing this every day, which is taking a breath in through the nose and releasing peace, comfort, love, resources, understanding, wisdom to all those who have lost so much in this last tragedy. In particular, two friends of mine, Lenka and Harlan, my favorite, fabulous publicist who has brought me so many epic and classic guests from TV, including the last week's Throwback Thursday focus on Marion Ross. And I know that Jim, her son, saw the notice that went out and he liked it. So I'm just so grateful. I'm sure he told Marion that she was on the air again, or on camera again, with her beautiful interview when she came to the studio. And she's 90. Let's see, I was going to look this up. I don't know if this is going to let me do it. Marion Ross age now. She is now 96. Oof. I believe at 94 she came back and gave a blessing to all the listeners from the virtual studio after I had Jim on. So that's all available on my YouTube TV channel, which is a free subscribe. So thank you for, I see people do this all the time. Subscribe and like and whatever that is. I've been broadcasting. I've been let's see, this is podcast show number 1315, 14. I can't seem to access my scroller today, but it's a lot. And I think I was doing podcasts before they called them podcasts, but I can't believe, and I am so grateful for all the incredible people that I've gotten to interview over this past 12 and a half years. So that's my last gratitude, which is the top of the bun. Bottom of the bun is gratitude turned inwards. It's something I want you to do before you go to bed tonight. So you're going to sandwich your day in the most positive way. And what that looks like is, what do you like about yourself? What do you appreciate about yourself? And this is so important. It's my BS, my belief system. That appreciation is the foundation, the key. What is that? Keystone? Is it a keystone? Keystone Cops, but the keystone of your good mental health. That if you can't like yourself, if you don't appreciate yourself, then it doesn't matter how successful you look on the outside, you really are not getting out of life what you could be getting. Because when, we're not here in life to beat ourselves up. We're here in life to really enjoy this thing called life. And that's why I call it hashtag joyride of life. So what do you like about yourself? Think about the things that people compliment you on, that maybe you don't believe, but you hope for, or you hope you're a good person. But what is it that you like about yourself? So I will say I like my ability to problem solve, that I don't give up easily, that I really do care 88% of the time, that I am sensitive, which is 100% correlated with creativity. It used to bother me when people used to say, "You're so sensitive," but actually now I like it, because it just means that I am creative, and I take it as a compliment. Thank you very much. I appreciate my valuing of my own diversity. I grew up not liking being Chinese, lots of bullying, lots of "I look different, therefore bad," when I grew up in Waterloo, Ontario, Canada. And so I appreciate my ability to value my diversity, especially Chinese New Year time. And I'm going to spend a bit of this show giving you some Chinese New Year superstitions that you may want to follow. See what happens as we move into this year of the wooden stick. All right, let's see what else. I appreciate my ability to laugh often and much, and I am so appreciative of my ability to. Um, I'm a good mom. 88% of the time, I'm not a perfect mom, but I appreciate my ability to have raised or been front row seats for two beautiful girls that as I mentioned earlier, I get to see tomorrow for Chinese New Year. All right. And that is it for having breakfast with me this morning on Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa. The morning show on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Home to the Asian Oprah and number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. Oh, all right. I hope that you do this good life habit, this hashtag Blisscipline, for the next 28 consecutive days. And that way, it will be a good life habit for you. Gratitude and appreciation. Thanks for joining me for breakfast. All right. And now for the topic of the day. It says everything is awesome. I actually won this at Dave and Buster's because I love to play games. And the topic is constructing self worth. Constructing self worth. And we did a deconstructing criticism last Monday. And so I thought it would be interesting and fun to, and important, I should say, maybe less fun, but super duper important to talk about self-worth. And for those of you who are on my social, I'm Doc Balance on Instagram and Dr. Marissa everywhere else. I put up two clips. One of Madison Keys after her press conference after she won the Grand Slam Australian Open final for the women. And so proud of her because, well, because she overcame some odds. She was very of promise early in her life when she started playing tennis and did quite well. And then, was sort of put in that category of she has the potential, and she, talked in her press conference about why that changed, what happened that she was able to live up or exceed the potential. And she said it was um, doing work, doing real inner work, not sports psychology, but real therapy, looking at why she was not comfortable with herself, why, what those fears, those BS belief systems that were getting in the way of her own desire and her own ability to win and to do well. Or, she'd come into acceptance that, maybe a grand slam wasn't in her future and that was okay. But the key component that I've been turning the volume up on in this last couple of years is the notion of personal mastery. The notion that it doesn't, people are successful, you think, right? On the outside, they look successful. And then, sometimes it's a tragedy, like Robin Williams, like Anthony Bourdain, like Kate Spade, who, you think they would have all of the happiness that comes with all of those things that we originally think are important for self-worth, which is fame and fortune and success and achievement and all of those things. And yet it's the personal internal mastery of, can you like yourself? Can you love yourself? Can you care for yourself? Do you have balance when it comes for taking care of your own needs versus sacrificing everything for others. And then I put up the second clip, which I was super uh, grateful and proud of and heartened by Caleb Kessel, sorry, who and in the clip it was brilliant. He says, "You would think that after I win how many golds and the world championship and swimming and da 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 da, and you would think that I would be so happy with myself." And it was a horrible time to live in that darkness in your mind, that no matter what you do, it's not good enough. And he called it exactly what I call it, which is perfectionism. That dis-ease of who you are, what you're doing, what's happening to you, that constant focus on what's not good enough, what you haven't accomplished, what you did wrong, what you said wrong, what you regrets, which is like the food for perfectionism. And it's not a pretty place. It's not a happy place. It's not a comfortable place. That term that has come out, being comfortable in your own skin. That's such a descriptive, like really, like without stuffing your face, without shopping, without gambling, without a mate, without holding someone hostage to make you feel better, without any of those things. Can you sit with yourself and feel okay most of the time? Can you sit in discomfort and be okay? Can you have everything falling apart around you and be okay after feeling what you need to feel and being angry or sad? Can you recover from all of that back to a place of balance? And that is what personal mastery is. And it's something that my vision is to have this class that I taught at UCLA in the fall and I taught in China, and I've been teaching it on stage as a motivational speaker and adding more and more about it in there, is this notion of who's the boss of you? Like personal mastery. Uh, can you harness and put that critical chatter into a place that doesn't drive you over your life cliff? So that the energy of criticism that is tied to, that we did last week, is so tied to the energy of self-worth. And that's what we're talking about today. That was a very long introduction, but I wanted to give you the whole scope because if you know of any uh, graduate schools, wouldn't it be great if this was taught in high school? Or at this point, my target is people who are going to be, leaders in organizations, because I believe that if you've got leaders anywhere and everywhere who have personal mastery, then they have less fear of looking, making decisions to look good to other people, or making decisions that are really not uh, balanced or kind in the humankind. And I believe that that's why I'm targeting graduate school, but anywhere. Because if we all led with the knowledge that I'm enough and I'm worthy and I'm not better than you, I'm not worse than you, I'm not a piece of shiitake, and I'm not hot shiitake. I'm just pretty good shiitake. I'm 88% fabulous. I have unique talent, gifts, and abilities, and that my win is your win is my win, and I'm not working from this idea of a fixed pie that if you get that, that means I don't get it, because that's what causes war. Or I'm better than you, or what you're doing is wrong, therefore I need to snuff you out. Ergo war. And if we could get to that place, if me in my own hula hoop could feel good about myself 88% of the time, don't you think we would have less war? Don't you think we would have less ranting and raving and fear and anxiety. I'm talking to half of the states right now that are just like reeling because of what they keep seeing on TV, which is produced news that is meant to get you to go, ah, and yes, it doesn't look good. And if it doesn't look good, can you fix that? Can you control it? No, well then don't look at it because that's that's what we're accustomed to. That's the habit of media to get you into that frenzied place. And that's why I have spent my last 12 and a half years wanting to balance that out. If you come here, you're not going to get that. You are going to get Happy 88 tips on how to, whatever the topic is. So today, how to construct self-worth. That's what we're talking about. All right. And we're going to end the last 15 minutes with Chinese New Year superstition and tips. I was going to do it tomorrow, but we have a guest tomorrow. So I am that's what we're gonna do today. Thank you for joining me. We are on a different kind of studio because I cannot seem to access the studio on my computer this morning for whatever reason. So thank you for not noticing that there's a couple things missing, but the most important thing is you being here, and I see the eyeballs rolling in. Thank you very much for being here. All right, step one. Oh, and also, where did I put it? Today, here it is. Oh, my camera's on it. All right. Today is the Asian Oprah giveaway is my 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are audiobook. So go to drmarissa.life and put your email in there, and that way you can get a free audiobook copy because it's Monday, Mental Health Matters Mondays. That's the first thing we do to construct self-worth. Take a deep breath through your nose and release. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees, feeling your breath, chi, life, flow through your body. Second breath in, releasing all the stories and the drama, letting your breath connect with your mind. And the third breath, connecting with me through chi, eternal energy, the breath of life that connects us all. We're all breathing. That's how we're connected. And when I breathe, I take nothing from you. And you breathe, you take nothing from me. My best example of abundance in life. So that is, it contains a lot of anchoring BS belief systems that start to help you see how important and worthy and good enough. And I'm speaking slowly on purpose because I want this to drip into your life. I want this to drip into your consciousness. I want this to drip into every cell in your body. I want this to cut through any criticism that you've ever gotten in your life. Anytime you've stepped out and been told you're not all that, anytime you have started to say something good about yourself and got cut down and told, don't toot your own horn. I want you to really sit right now and not define yourself the way that we're taught to define ourselves. So let's go to a common example. And this is 7 out of 10 of us. So we are the majority. And the majority of people in, especially in an American culture, I grew up in Canada, I was born in Canada, but I think there's enough similarity there. And also, Americans are diverse. Most of America comes from another place, either Europe or other countries. So let's look at some of that upbringing in different cultures. And I was born into a very high achieving family. I was born into a cultural family that you are honored. You honor your parents above all, no matter if the if they're well meaning, and sometimes more mean than well. I was brought up in a school where I was rewarded if I had the right answer. I was in a school system with people who, if you blended in, or if you followed the bully, or if you did what everybody else did, or tried to be like whoever was the most popular, that was how you succeeded. That was what was that you could feel good about yourself if you excelled. So achievement, um, being complimented for what you were able to do for someone. So your worth is dependent on what you did for others. I was always looking to other people to see if I was worthy. If I didn't perform in a way that was good enough, and lauded and patted on the back or rewarded with an A in school, whatever it was, that was my worth. If I was told that I was a good student, then that's where I got my self-worth from. If I was told I was a good daughter, that's where I got my self-worth from. And then unfortunately, the more I was told I was a bad daughter, the more that I was told that I wasn't good enough, the more that I was told that I was fat and ugly, the more that I was told I was clumsy, the more that I was given the message that I was not good enough, the worse I felt. And the more I scrambled and performed to get that approval. It was a hamster wheel I couldn't get off of. Into adulthood, into, I'll be the first to achieve a PhD as the youngest, or I'll be the first to finish a dissertation in undergrad. I'll be first to get this, and first to finish that, and first to. So that was my way of creating my self-worth, which was constructing on sand. It was just nothing was ever good enough, because you're only as good as your last achievement. You're only as good as your last compliment. You're only as good as your last whatever that was. And it was never, ever enough. So when Caleb Dressel talked about that, it was like, wow, he gets it. His inability and my inability to sit still and actually say, you know, you're pretty awesome. You're not perfect, but wow, you did good. Um, it took me a long time to get to this point, and I certainly had assist from so many incredible teachers. And those of you who know, um, uh, at Agape International Spiritual Center, my big brother Michael Bernard Beckwith is one of those people who could see who I was before I did. And if you can allow yourself, there's lots of help out there. Um, it doesn't have to be therapy that takes 10 years, but there are great therapists out there. I'm a happiness coach because I do better as that than being restricted by some of the things in licensing. So I chose, as an organizational psychologist, I want to be able to do some really quick um, uh, uh, love transformation, worth transformation within yourself quickly. That's what I do with the happiness coaches. That's why we do Mental Health Matters Mondays, is to give you a kickstart on some of the things and the BS and the belief systems that help and hurt with good mental health and self-worth. Okay, so I don't know how many of you actually identify with the things that I spoke about, but I'll tell you, when I go speak on stages all over the world, and I ask people to raise their hands if they are harder on themselves than anyone else is, 100% of the hands go up. So this is not rocket science. It is a common dis-ease, perfectionism, high achievement orientation. I call it control freakism too, because if you want things to happen and be achieved and perfect, you try to control them, and that's, you can't control 88% of what's happening around you. So yeah, I love Caleb. I hope I get a chance to have him on the show. But I know that not everybody had a horrible childhood. Not, there's 3 out of 10 of us, not me, but 3 out of 10 who have had beautiful mom and dads. I was just talking to someone and she said, my parents were amazing. They supported me. They said, you can do anything, right? Marion was talking about that. Dawn Wells had a mom like that. So even people who have had really healthy, loving parents can still have that voice that says, I'm not good enough. I am not worthy. And it's crazy. It's like, what? But I used to do a lot of, I used to love to go and warp young minds and do presentations in schools, much to my daughter's chagrin. And, career days or whatever, or volunteer in the class for Chinese New Year, or any time that I could go, and they would ask, because I do speak, to come and do talks. And I would work with, young kids, and I wanted to find out at what age kids started to believe the voice in their head that said, you're not good enough. Like, when did that happen? When did that critical, angry, makes you feel like you're gross or dirty or fat or ugly? When did that start? And it could be sooner now, but somewhere around 10, 9, 8, 11, 12, in that time. Because if you look at little kids, like certainly up to 4, 5, 6, they they think they're cute. They think they're beautiful. They think their life is about being in joy and finding joy and laughing and playing and knowing that they're okay. And somewhere, like, it used to be 10. I'm told it's earlier now. When is that point where a kid, even if they're from a beautiful, loving home, will get this in their head of, oh, I'm not as pretty as so and so. I'm not as smart as so and so. School system, peer system, I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, it isn't good for you. It isn't it's a seed, it's a weed that blocks out the growth of the seed that is truly who you are. We're all born into this life as precious, what is it, Desidera, that says, you are a precious child of a friendly universe. That is who we are as we really are. We're a full expression of all of life. We're given the access to the energy that creates worlds. That's who we really are. But when we have that voice that says, you're not good enough, you're not worthy, you're not as smart as, you're not as pretty as, that's the weed that grows and blocks the light energy that we are, born connected to. So if you want to construct, if you're saying, I don't feel good enough, I am not worthy, I don't feel like I am good enough, I want you to begin to just, you know spend some time just sitting. And meditation for me is the keystone for, or the apex for, a life that isn't so crazy bustling around me that I get caught up in thinking about, have I done all that I've not good at, I haven't finished, oh my God, this and that. When I sit and just start my day and not think and not MS, a meaningless scroll, and just sit, and I just sit and breathe, or I lay down and breathe after I've woken up, and I just use that time to get out of my own way, and the weeds of self unworthiness, the weeds of not feeling good enough. um, if you can begin to stop thinking, I mean, really, that's what is no thought. Meditation is that quiet time, and even if your head is racing, in time it will abate. But the discipline is just to stop it. The way to get off the hamster wheel is to get off the hamster wheel. If you want to create this good new life habit, and start with 2 minutes and go to 3 minutes, and just breathe. Just breathe, just breathe. It is truly the beginning of understanding that the weight of you performing to please others is self-imposed. Oh, but Dr. Marissa, I have responsibilities. Yes, you do. And isn't it amazing that you get to be a mom? Isn't it amazing that you get to use your talents to make money energy? Isn't it great that you know we have free time to choose what to do? Isn't it great that we can smile and laugh and compliment someone and see their reaction? And isn't it great that we can do many things in life? We don't have to be limited to the thing that we're good at, that we spend 10,000 hours. There's plenty of 10,000 hours in other things that you can do. Um, and that is the beginning. Self-worth is acting on your own behalf and asking yourself, who am I? um I don't have an answering machine, I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? And that's what I'm asking y'all. I ask myself this on a regular basis right now in this very moment. How am I feeling? Well, the best thing for me is to do this show first thing in the morning, because I cannot not feel good when I am yelling at you and trying to get you to drink the Kool-Aid on feeling good about you and your life. Am I feeling good? Well, no, I'm not feeling good. Why? Well, I feel fat. Okay, then let me go drink some water. Let me go take a walk outside. Let me not shop for things that are not good for me. Let me not eat after 8 p.m. So I know I'm the boss of what I know, that what will make me feel better. I know that if I'm really pissed off at a person, place, or thing, that's not going to make me feel good. So if I can't fix it, which is 88% of the time, I can't fix it because I ain't in control of it, then I focus somewhere else on something I can control, which is me, and something that is good feeling. Isn't it great that we got rain? Isn't it great that there are firefighters? Isn't it great that we have examples from other communities that rebuilt after a fire. Isn't it great that the sports teams in LA have, been leading the efforts to raise money to help those who have been displaced? Isn't it great that there are so many people and organizations that are helping in this effort of rebuilding? Instead of focusing on who's to blame and how could that happen and shame on you and we can't go back and change all those things that were not the way we wanted them. So this is the way that I begin to feel good about me, my life, my worth. What can I do? And I'm hoping that that formula, which just happens to follow the gratitude sandwich that I do every show at the top of the show. That is what is going to begin to generate. So those are your two um, tools that I want you to use. One is the breath, and two is the gratitude and appreciation and of yourself. First and foremost, start now. You don't have to fix everything that happened in the past. If you have regrets, just start now. What am I going to do every single day to act on my own behalf so I feel like a precious child of a friendly universe? Because you are. You are loving, loved, and lovable, and you're wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. And that is, I know for sure, the truth that I hold for you. That's it for constructing self-worth. And I've been rushing through this. I'm not sure exactly how much time I have because of the technical stuff when we started, but that's okay. I still think we have at least 10 minutes, so I'm going to change gears. Those of you who just joined, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, streaming everywhere, home to the Asian Oprah, NBC News Radio, and number one talk in the IE. Thank you in this time slot. And I'm so grateful that I have for you some fun superstitions and things that I use for my Chinese background. So Chinese New Year is this Wednesday. Those of you who are listening a week after on the NBC channel, it doesn't matter. This still applies because you'll still be in the first 15 years of the Lunar New Year calendar. So those of you who are wondering what year animal you are in Chinese astrology, if you're born in January or February, you may not be what you think you are because the lunar calendar does different than our whatever calendar we're using. I'll have to look that. Is it Gregorian? Anyways, the lunar calendar starts the first day is January 29th this year. Last year was different, et cetera, et cetera. But all you need to know is January 29th is day one. And the reason why you need to know this is because for the next 15 days from January 29th, there are things that you should not do. And I don't usually should on you, but this is Chinese New Year superstitions or Chinese New Year guidelines if you want to have the good fortune of the new year. Okay, you ready? So then New Year's Eve, what you can sweep the floor, clean your house, cut your hair, because on the first, don't do it. Because if you do, you are symbolizing that you are cutting away the new fortune that comes with every new year. You are showering off your good fortune. Okay, so no showers. No, those of you who do a shower every day, it'll be fine if you want to try this out. And cutting hair, cleaning. Let's see, what else was there that I forgot already? Let's see. Old clothes, don't wear old clothes. Buy new clothes. There you go. I just gave you a good reason to go shopping before the new year. Don't wash your hair. You're washing away good fortune on the new year. No washing of clothes on New Year's Day. Okay. No sweeping, and don't use unlucky words. Okay. So in Chinese, there's numbers that are homophones for good and for bad. Y'all know my eight. Eight's a homophone for good fortune. Ba, fa. Si is a homophone for shi, which is death. So try not to use the number four. Also, for the 2 weeks, uh, try not to cry. Crying brings bad luck. Now, I'm known to tell you it's good to cry once a week to get in touch with your feelings. So you can suspend that for 2 weeks, but just for the 2 weeks, see what happens. No breaking of dishes. Don't use scissors or knives because it cuts away wealth. Don't lend or borrow money because it's going to lead to debt in your new year. So you got a good reason if you have a cousin that keeps asking for money. No killing, obviously, never killing, but animals, hurting animals, it causes misfortune. No black or white clothes. So you notice I wore red. This is a lucky color to wear, especially Chinese New Year's Day. Um, and no odd amounts of money. So I used to give little bread packets at McGaw Elementary School when my kids were there. I would go and do those presentations and make fried rice for hundreds of people. But I was to also give out, oh shoot, I left it in the car, red packets. You've seen them. And I would give out $1 in every red packet, which was bad luck. And I didn't realize it. But the kids didn't mind because it was money. But yeah, it started getting too expensive with $2 in red packets for 100 kids. So anyways, let's see. Anything else did I forget? Avoid taking medicine. So this is Chinese herbal medicine. So if you're on something that you need to take for your health, then ignore this. But if you're Chinese, you're not supposed to take herbal medicine on the first day of the Lunar New Year. So that would be on Wednesday, the 29th. Let's see. And no hospital visits on the first of the lunar year, the 29th. So again, I'm not going to follow that. I have people that I love that are in, well, actually, my bonus mom's out of the hospital, so it's okay. But if you have someone in the hospital that needs a visit, I would suspend that one. I'm going to take that out of the Chinese. So what do you do? I think I talked about wearing red, buy new clothes, eat certain foods. Long life noodles are a symbol of long life, and dumplings. And in my family's tradition, we have a hot pot with huoguo, which is you cook your own food and make sure you have those noodles there, and dumplings. We also played mahjong when we were kids on Chinese New Year's Eve. My kids don't like mahjong. I do, but we play games. So you can, try some Chinese traditions out for this new Chinese New Year coming up. Snake, it is the year of the wood snake. And if you don't know what animal you are, go just Google it. Use my assistant Google and you'll find out. And usually, anyone who's in the 12-year cycle, if you're going to be 60, starting Wednesday the 29th, after that, if you're turning 60, then you are a snake. And if you're 72, you're a snake. If you are 60, 50, 48, you're a snake. So just in 12, if you get that. That's how you figure out if you're in the year of the snake. And the year of the snake is going to be one of careful contemplation, craftiness because of the snake. And the snake is not lucky necessarily for all of the animals. And we did this, go back to my show on Friday, Straight Talk with James Hawthorne. We did a whole show on who the match is and who isn't. So I'm not going to cover it here. You can get that on my YouTube free subscribe channel, and you can hit the like. Thank you so much. I am so grateful that we got to do this show. And that this is the beginning of consecutive week number 665, for which I'm very grateful. Thanks for being with me on Constructing Self-Worth. Tomorrow, I have a special guest coming, and he's going to be talking about the first Black man, even before Jackie Robinson, who was excelled as a bicycle. It was the Black Cyclone. So I have the author of that book coming tomorrow as my hashtag Tuesday talent guest. So don't miss that. And then Wednesday's Doctors in the House. I'll be reporting live from San Francisco. Thursday is Throwback Thursday. Not quite sure who I'll put on there, but it will be someone brilliant, as it has been since I started this new series and taking beautiful interviews from out of the vault. If you missed Hot Lips Houlihan's interview, Dawn Wells, Marianne from Gilligan's Island, and Mrs. Cunningham from Marion Ross, those are the ones that I've started to do. And a Friday Straight Talk with Ricky Rebel. So great week ahead of us. Please do continue to tune in. If you're someone with a product or service and like to be a sponsor of a show about hope and happiness, please do contact me. We're setting up for a new year of sponsors and would love to have you. All right, that's it. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever.